At the end of 2025, I completed my very first marathon here in Stellenbosch. I set out to do a sub 3 hour 30 minutes and I failed miserably. I ended up with a time of 3 hour 15 minutes, which I'm actually proud of considering what was my first marathon, but I truly believe that you learn more from your failures than you do from success. I have to tell you guys that I really enjoy the process leading up to the marathon. The 16-week prep was quite hard at some times, especially towards the end. I found myself those last 2 weeks a bit docile, a bit heavy on the legs, not sure if I've overdone it. Fell in love with the process, fell in love with endurance. 2026, I'm definitely going to be focusing more on endurance events. Since my rugby days, I just fell in love with the running space, the endurance space. Realized this marathon that I'm still a bit on the heavy side, still need to shed a few more kgs to complete and hit the goals that I set out to do. Actually, throughout the race, I was on target and actually ahead of pace for about 35 kilometers, and that classic hitting the marathon wall hit me around 36k mark, and yeah, it hit me hard. It got a stage where I was walking about 300-400 meters, then trying to jog. So those last 7 to 6k's was quite humbling, but thoroughly enjoyed the whole process. And then next, 2026, what is on the cards? Like I mentioned, I'm going to do a bunch of half marathons, marathons. I'm definitely going to try and set out to do that sub 3 hour 30 minutes. I'm hungry for that. I need to hit that goal. It still haunts me a bit at night, so I'm going to try and do that. I'm also wanting to do Hyrox this year again, and then as well the 70.3 Ironman in Mossel Bay, which I believe is one of the best events in South Africa. That is basically, in terms of endurance, what I'm going to set out to do for 2026. In terms of business, Grit, we are actually doing our first production run in January. We have big goals 2026. Super excited for that, hoping to launch mid-February, so I'll keep you guys updated for that. It's now or never. I believe this is the time to do something like this. I'm going to take you guys with me. Yeah, doing a production run in January, hoping to launch in February and get everything right by then. Doing our first daily electrolytes that I'll share more about in the near future. And yeah, that's basically it for what I am setting out to do in 2026. I'm a very goal-orientated person, so I'm that guy that grabs a piece of paper at the end of each year and the beginning of each year and write down all the goals that I want to achieve, and that can get quite overwhelming. So I did the same this year, but just a bit less, a bit focused, a bit more dialed. I realized that if you write down 100 different things, at the end of the day, you just, it's not feasible, it's not attainable, it's something that realistically you're not going to achieve. So I've dialed it back a bit, narrowing it down, focusing what I believe, what is important. I listened also to Diary of a CEO podcast, Chris Williamson, where he mentioned that in order to do something new, you have to put something down if you don't have the time. So I also like to jam-pack my schedule, make sure I'm always busy throughout the year. So this year I'm going back to the basics, doing stuff that I know will help my business, help me grow personally, and on purpose put myself in uncomfortable situations where I know the only way is going forward, so back against the wall. But that's the way I like it, that's the way that I've been brought up my whole life. And yeah, I hope you guys had an epic 2025. 2026, we're going to hit the ground running. I'm going to take you guys with me, hold the standard, and see you in the next one.